and food for thought. I recently watched an interesting presentation done by Haris, and he talked about mathematical theory and also presented that print over here, print done by Albrecht Dürer, a German artist, painter. Also, I think he was a scientist as well. And yeah, I would like to know more about that. So, Haris, can you present that art?
Yes, it will be a great pleasure to do so, Kara. So, first of all, this is probably my most favorite painting. It's not a painting, so it's a large engraving, basically. Going on over the technical, let's say, specification first. This engraving, it measures 24 centimeters time 18 time 8. So this is 9.4 inches times 7.4 inches. So it's quite large. It was created, as you said, by Albrecht Dürer in 1514. And it was actually it was one of the three master prints that he prepared during in that 2-year period, 1513, 1514. So he actually created this engraving using a printmaking technique that actually involves cutting or incising onto a metal plate. Usually that metal plate is made of copper. Shout out copper because copper is Cyprus, and Cyprus comes from Cyprus. So I am from Cyprus, I had to say that. And they did that with a sharp tool called embodying. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that was the tool. Basically, this painting, as you will see, has a lot of tools over there. So tools are part of the actual arrangement. So this plate then gets inked, let's say, and then pressed onto a sheet of paper. And in this manner, the print gets transferred in an image. So this type of engraving allows for fine details and fine lines, let's say, and this is why it's actually called a master print, because it exhibits this, let's say, extreme level of detail, and it also has some tonal effects that they are created by varying the depth, the direction of the cuts. Now, interestingly, now I'm going over the technical details, let's say, a bit, but I found really nice the fact that, and this is something that you need to dig a little bit further into the research behind this specific print by Dürer. Actually, he's using a particular technique. He didn't originate that technique. He picked it up from previous painters, let's say, but he actually elevated it a lot. So he innovated a little bit in that way. This technique is called chiaroscuro. It's an Italian technique, and actually it uses strong contrast of light and dark in order to create a more dramatic effect of volume, depth, and even of mood. And this is very appropriate because the whole painting, as we will see in this analysis of ours, it's actually emerging of the two aspects, the dark and the light. So it's very nice that he utilized this technique called chiaroscuro. So he used it to enhance the realism and the expressiveness of many of his prints. This is, for me, it's one of the fine examples, but there are also many other prints made by Dürer that utilize this technique, that in its original manifestation, it was made with on a blue paper as a background. So it has this fine effect too. In this way, we actually see it in the form of this engraving with these lines in this particular background, let's say. Not the blue one, but the normal one. So this technique is used basically to create a sense of mystery, but also of ambiguity. So this is something that I wanted to share as part of our introduction.
Thank you so much. That's excellent introduction. Let's just talk about different parts of this painting. Like, first of all, the interesting symbolism, bell and the clock. If I'm not mistaken, on top of the clock, there is also a sun clock.
I think this, the technical name is called a sundial. It's an horological device that tells the time.
Thank you for pointing that out. I really like that vocabulary, so thank you. If I see it, time plus kind of this nihilistic idea, because the bell also symbolizes this events in life, and events in life, if you see the rope from the bell goes beyond the frame, beyond the actual print, and would suggest, let's say, if you look at this entire painting, it's this one frame, but if somebody beyond the frame rings, which we don't have in control and we don't have in our vision, would pull the string, the bell would ring, which gives this sense of unpredictability somehow. Like, we don't know, because we cannot see who is pulling that string. So that thing really stood out to me, like jumped from that painting. And also the overall chaos, like what is going on? Like it gives me a sense of unease, because I really don't understand, and what we don't understand gives this I don't know, a curiosity mixed with little trepidation, maybe dread, a little bit, because if the world is good or bad, like what was it like at 15, 14? Yeah. What stood out to you first?
Yeah, basically, kudos for seeing this. That the rope of the bell actually extends outside of the painting. That's a very fine observation. I made a similar one, but not this one. This one eluded me. I made the observation that the ladder goes outside the paint. So this is also nice. What you said about that this painting actually depicts the loss of order. So in a way, it's if we see it as part of this trilogy of engravings that Dürer created during this 2-year period. The other two paintings, they are very well structured. They are full in order, very symmetrical. You see the paintings, and actually everything is there is a nice focal point. The main character draws your attention. But in this in this particular engraving, that's not the case. It is as if that he managed to put everything together in a way to create this feeling of unease, let's say, that goes side by side the feeling of beauty or even of. So this is the other thing that I wanted to add. Now, regarding the depictions that you said about the hourglass and the sundial, I take it that this is two different ways that he in a very nice way he juxtapose one over the other in order to showcase that time is fleeting, and so it's like in the case of the hourglass, you can see that we're actually there is still some time left there. So it gives you this feeling that we're running out of time. And in the case of the sundial, it's also nice, but if you consider that we do not know in this painting where actually the source of the light is coming. So maybe it's coming from the back, as many suggested, let's say from here, over here. But if that's the case, then why the sundial is here? And if so, then this architectural structure that has the bell on it, and it has the weighting scales, and the sundial, and the hourglass, and the square. What is the functionality? It doesn't look as if it has any functionality. It's as if he created, let's say, a structure or a pillar just for the sole purpose of placing these items there. So it adds another layer of this enigma in this way. So yeah, this is what I wanted to add.
I would like to talk a little bit about the actual square, because Albrecht Dürer apparently, or he is credited in Wikipedia as the creator of the first European magic square, because prior to that the magic squares were in Asia. The thing that I noticed that 16 numbers in here, they're from 1 till 16, and they're repeated only once each, and they're very cleverly placed, where in the middle of the 4 bottoms, 1514, which is the year of creation of that print. And the year of creation of that print is also here, 1514, and there is of course the signature, Albrecht Dürer.
So first of all, what you said about very correctly, and shout out to Wikipedia, by the way. I like Wikipedia. I don't know why people in academia hate it, but I absolutely love it. I'm not saying that everything is correct over there, but as a resource, and as an encyclopedia, it's perfect. So also shout out to Lex that he had a very nice interview recently with the Wikipedia founder. So yeah, moving over. So the first, as you said, Dürer he was the first that introduced in Europe this magic square. The first recorded, let's say, magic square in history was the Loshu. It was well known from in ancient times in China, how do you say, it was the mythology suggests that if I'm not mistaken, it was first seen on the back of a turtle. So the turtle has these let's say shapes, different shapes, and it was actually inscribed over there. So magic squares have a very long history, like more than 2,000 years old. So moving on to this particular one by Albrecht Dürer, as you said correctly, it has 16 different numbers from 1 until 16 arranged uniquely on this 4x4 grid, or as we call it in mathematics and in number theory, this is a magic square of order 4. So because it's a 4x4. Now a lot of people and even some art historians that they made some great and elaborative analysis in this particular engraving by Dürer. They noted the various ways that the lines and the columns and the diagonals and the quaternions, they add up to the same sum. And that sum in this particular case is number 34. So most of them, they also believe that because it's a 4x4 and we are talking about the number 16 here, there are 16 different ways to actually get that sum. But what I've noticed is that there are 18 ways. So let's briefly go over them and see. So we have the 4 rows, because if you add 16 plus 3 plus 2 plus 13, you get 34. Same thing goes with the second row, the third and the fourth. So keep it count, okay? Kara, please. So we have 4. So we have the first column, the second, the third and the fourth. So that's another 4. We're at 8. We also have, as is the case with all magic squares, and even with the smaller ones like 3x3 or even the biggest one, we also have to account for 2 diagonals. So in this case we have these 2, 16, 10, 17 and 1, that adds up to 34, and also 4, 6, 11, 13, that also sums up to the total. So we have 10 until now. Now here comes the interesting part. So we have the 4 corners, 16, 4, 1 and 13, so that's 11. We have the square, the inner square, so we have 10, 11, 7 and 6, so that's 12. We have 16, 13 and 14, 1, which once again it adds up to 34. This is symmetrical, so we can actually get then this one, so 2, 13 and 15, 4, because you have 19, 21 and 13 is 34. Now 16, 5 and 12, 1. Then we get, because once again it's symmetrical, 13, 8 and 9, 4. And the 2 hidden ones, you have 3, 5 and 12, 14. Check this one out for me.
Yeah, I see it. It works.
And also the one again, the anti-symmetrical. So you have 15, 9, which is 24, and another 10 here, that is 34. So in total we have 18 different ways to sum up to the same total of 34. And as you said before we started recording, the sum of that number will be 7. So that's something else.
I think I see more than I think.
I was almost certain it was more than 16.
It was more. Okay. 1, 2. Just here on a spot we could see the 24.
Yeah. So we can actually find a lot of them. It's more than 16. Actually,
Yes.
as Kara Nodrik is probably 24. So that's something we add in terms of analysis of this part of the painting.
I mean, I even see in the middle, so I already see. So there is. I already see 26. 3, 2, 15, and 14. So 3, 2, 15, and 14.
Yes.
Then 8, 12. So that's 26.
Okay.
So you see, if we have the corners, we also have the middles that also summing up.
Oh no, it's nice that also these the internal ones that you said before 3, 10, 15, and 6, 15, 11, 2.
Yeah. So 8, 12, also 9, 5. Like all of that, unless they already calculate. Like those. Then those. Let's move to actual melancholia. So melancholia, as I noticed, she has a closed book, and the photo child beside her has an open book. So what does that mean? Like her book is closed, and she keeps the pair of compasses. The child's book is open, and her book is closed.
Okay.
Like he's still learning, and she's like, nah, I'm done.
I don't think it's a book,
Okay.
to be honest, because I was also trying to realize.
Oh,
You see,
that's a wooden tablet. I see it.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
it's like a wooden tablet, and
Okay.
he's actually inscribing something. I don't know, but he's right-handed, both of them are right-handed. So back in that century, people used to believe that people that they are left-handed, they used it in paintings as a symbol for clumsiness and all of that. So here he actually, I remember reading this by Erwin Panofsky, one of the art historians that wrote about this. He was saying that particularly because both of them they are how do you say, they are holding items on their right hand. They seem to exhibit this. They move away from clumsiness. It's as if whatever they do, it's
Righteous.
yes, because it's on the right hand. So maybe it's not the best of interpretation during our century, but remember that it was we were talking about 500 years ago. So back then they were into this type of symbolism, let me say. But what you said about this book being closed, that's correct. What I wanted to add here is that the figure of melancholy is also a bit associated with the notion of this is a ancient Greek notion, many philosophers talk about it, of the four humors. And one of them it's melancholia, being melancholic, and it has to do with the black bile. This is what they call it. And one of the characteristic of that is that you get a sort of let's say a blackness in the face. And if you notice, her face is a bit black. It's as if that Dürer wanted people to make the recognition that it's melancholic, like that particular figure. Another thing is that she's wearing this wreath of flowers. Not flowers. It's it's how do they call it?
So she has some vegetation on her head, branches. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So it's something that it's as if that it's more alive, let's say. So it's something that it's was recently made. This is a thing that the art historian Panofsky notes. And of course, as you said, she's holding this gnomon. What's their name? You said?
In English that I found, it translates to a pair of compasses.
Okay, so yes, this also alludes to the secondary notion or interpretation that this figure of melancholy is actually the personification of geometry. So this is the mathematical compass, let's say, that is used for practicing geometry. So maybe it's a conflation of the two also. So we cannot exclude that fact. And of course, she is depicted here as being winged. So that's of course that is relevant. And also the child or the Buddha, as it's called, also is winged. Yeah.
Like, so I was a bit confused because it's a child, curly hair, puffy feet, and toes, and all of those details. It would allude to the way at that time in the Renaissance era, little cupids would be depicted like that, except that child is dressed up. And so that confused me, and I was like wondering if there is some questions that Dürer is posing in this print. Also, so the child is sitting on, I think it's a grinding wheel from a windmill. It's supposed to grind wheat for the bread. Yet, like it's like basically symbol of work, production, and everything. But here, it's off the engine. It's off the mechanism of grinding. It's just there, like leaning against the house, doing nothing, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like that workforce that's supposed to be the heart of a windmill actually is leaning against the house. So what is the symbolism of that? And then the child is on top of it. So I like it's so many questions. Why? And why there is a scale above it?
Yeah. By the way, I remember reading that at least one of them said, one of the art historians, they said that they tried to analyze it. I keep on going back to Panofsky because he actually, in his career, he went 3 times back to this painting. So everybody keeps citing him. He was great in his job. So, but one of the things that one of them said is that even if you take each symbol and you analyze it by itself, still you are gonna have some enigma in the air. let's say, suspended in the air. So maybe this is something that the artist purposely tried to accomplish. So Dürer, being the great engraver that he was, he managed to assemble this painting into this by using not only symbolism but also allegory. And this static movement that happens, as you said before, with the Buddha, the child sitting on top of the millstone, writing on a tablet, actually tries to, how do you say? It tries to showcase that aspect, that it's not only the dynamic aspect, it's also the static aspect of something. And
so the thing's supposed to be moving, but it doesn't. Instead, it's just like, it's not like the wheel that isn't turning, the wheel that is there.
And it has a different usage. So something can be repurposed for something.
Something is stuck.
Yes. A nice clarification here, let's say, is that the child may be contrasted to Melancholia, to the angel, say, as it represents a different type of creativity. So we can see both figures as representing creativity, but slightly in different forms. The child is playful, spontaneous, and innocent because he just decided to sit on top of the millstone and start writing on that tablet, let's say. And he also, in this manner, the child may also symbolize learning and even education.
Potential.
Yes, but if you see the figure of Melancholia, she's not really into writing. As you know, that the book is closed. She's just holding she's looking into the void, thinking. She's not really active in doing something. She's just pondering, let's say. Actually, supposedly the only active element in the whole painting is the child. Not the dog that is sleeping. Not it's the only active element.
The hourglass,
Yes. Because it's
and the hourglass is running, Also the comet is flying and the bat is showing Melancholy I. I want to contrast something.
Yes.
So there are two different tools, types of tools that I see here. So mathematical scientific tool she's holding in her hand, in her right hand, but below her feet, I think she even stepped on one of those, are the let's say work tools that are used in craftsmanship, and they're below her feet. It feels like she's like she's throwing them, she tried them, they bore her, she put it under her feet. She's also seems like she's tired of possessions. By that I would see that her wallet is actually also at the level of her feet. I might be overthinking it. So the wallet is at the level of her feet, and the wallet represents possessions. She's tired of those, and the only thing that she keeps in her right hand is actually the scientific kind of tool, or the tool of art. Because I also read up on types of melancholia at that time. So they had at that time, in the age of Dürer, they had 3 types of melancholia, and Melancholia I would be the melancholia for artists, creatives, painters, all of them. And I think she might be, if it's called Melancholia I, she might be the representation of an artist who got tired to work with the hand and craftsmanship and actually contemplating the science.
Yeah. That's the what I also get from the whole engraving. And I have so many things to add to what one of the things is that, you know, she's holding it, but if you see the distance of the compass of the two sides, it's actually this is something one of those critics they noticed, that this distance you can actually use it to create this sphere here.
I also can see it. Yep. If yes.
Yeah. So
although this sphere is in 3D, and so it's like it's
actually she's an angel.
Oh, she can like in 3D. No, excellent.
And she even did that, and imagine it was 14. So she already done that, like let's see somehow in a way that's up into the enigma. So she already did this, and now she just as I see it, she created the sphere, the perfect sphere.
Yeah.
She created the perfect square. She created this amazing polyhedron that is basically a truncated rhomboidal, probably with 8 edges. I am not so certain about that, but this is called the Dürer solid. So she already created, let's say, all of this, and now she's just sitting there
waiting for an inspiration.
Yes, waiting in.
What's next?
Melancholy, waiting in melancholy. What's coming up next? Yeah. Now, going back to all the tools that they are laid on the floor, I just want to go a bit over them. According to various sources, the tools that are scattered on the floor are, as you said, they are all related to craft and carpentry. Carpentry, which are some of the skills and activities associated with melancholy and geometry in that sense. They also may symbolize the artist's creative potential, but also some of the limitations, constraints. So maybe our tools, they actually our limitation in our creative capacities. So that means that better tools, better creations, let's say, in a way. Maybe there is something at play also there. The actual tools that we can see a saw, which may signify the cutting and dividing of objects, the analysis and synthesis of ideas, or even the pain and suffering of life. We have a plane, which may represent the smoothing and sharpening of surfaces, the refinement of forms, or the perfection of craft. We have the straight edge, which may suggest the measurement and alignment of lines, the accuracy and precision of geometry, or even the order and rationality of reason. We have the molder's form, which may imply the molding and casting of shapes, the reproduction and duplication of forms, or the uniformity and standardization of the craft. We also have some nails there, which may indicate the joining and separating of materials, the construction and destruction of structures, or even the power and violence of action. So these are some of the tools that they are scattered in this engraving by the feet of Melancholy.
Yeah.
So this is like a ruler. We have the saw, we have the sling edge. Also, here there is how it is called. It's like a small furnace. This one here.
Oh yeah, it does look like a small furnace. I do see the fire in there. It is just next to the water, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like I kind of feel there are elements in here: water, fire, I don't know, that geometrical shape. I'm not sure. It might be a rhomboid, but I'm not sure. And you also have the wood beside it, which is like the ladder represents wood as well. Like I see all the elements, but I might be overthinking it as well. And the hammer, which is like so far away from her over there, represents metal.
Yes. And this seascape here, you can notice these small islands with the trees. So some of them, they actually said that this is actually after a flood.
Oh, interesting.
Because there are these small islands with the trees, yes.
Yes, so there was a flood and there used to be a garden, let's say, and the flood covered up the lower grounds and only the, yeah, I see it.
So it adds this extra layer, let's say. You can see the city here. So yeah.
So, okay, I want to talk a little bit about that bat. Oh, okay, you said it's a greyhound?
Yes.
I was like, what's wrong with that dog? Oh, it's a greyhound.
It's the sleeping dog. Actually, Panofsky associated with both loyalty and laziness. He argued that this dog symbolizes the passive and inert aspect of melancholy, which prevents action and movement. Like some even call the dog like emancipated. Like she's just there sleeping, you know. It's one I can display with a contrast between the static and the dynamic movement and positivity. Now, Rika, you said about the bat, right?
Yes, so that thing on the top that looks like a flying rodent or something. And when I looked up close, it seems like it is actually the sign is a part of it. It's like it's staring its chest out and saying Melancholia, like there. It feels like a little bit almost gory because it feels like that sign is inside of it. It's like it opened up its own chest. That's how it looks like. And it looks like the animal, the rodent itself is in pain. It doesn't look like wings to me. It actually looks like it tore itself apart.
Actually, I think you are right. I was reading something about people, they were thinking that this was a banner with the title of the painting, but it's an inscription. So maybe you are correct. Yeah, it's an inscription. And some call this a bat-like creature. Let's say it personally it looked like a bat, the face at least to me. Some others they call it something more mythological, like a dragon.
Has a snake tail, yeah.
Like a dragon. Basically, this is a symbol. If it's a dragon, it was a symbol of how do you say, of this moving away from order. Yes. So that's something also that adds into the enigmatic, let's say, picture here. By the way, I always thought of it as part of, how do you say, as if it's a dream space. So it's a space that exists only in the imagination, in imaginary time, in a way.
Yeah.
Like the imagination of the engraver, of Dürer in this case, and it's packed full with symbolism and also with enigmas, like and this deliberate let's say, insistence of placing the main characters and the symbols and all of this in this way that it's not clearly symmetrical, let's say. It is constructed with the absolute symmetry of the square that is over here.
Perfection and order with the so let's say at the top right corner just under the unpredictable bell, the bell that can ring any moment. Nobody, like, we don't know who holds the rope, and at the bottom of it is absolutely chaotically thrown tools. In the heart of it is a child. In the heart of the painting is a child, and then top left corner is some sort of halo. It doesn't. I'm refusing to believe it's a rainbow. It looks like a halo. And I first thought it's a sunset. Sun, you know, like when the sun goes beyond the horizon, there are all those lines. But I read that it might be a comet.
Okay. Interesting. What I was reading, it's that, let's say, I don't know if it's a sunset. Let's suppose that it's a rainbow-like structure. Okay. There is one possibility that it's not a rainbow, but a moonbow. So that's an actual. It's an actual thing. It's a rainbow that gets lit by the moonlight. So that's something different that maybe Dürer actually wanted to showcase here, or leave this ambiguity forming, let's say, in the mind of the viewers. So yeah, in the back, some they say it's a comet, maybe it's the sun. I'm not so sure about that part. In general, this part, the left upper part, for me it's the most enigmatic. This one right here, this with the flooded city, and with this creature, and with the bow there. So for me, this part that moves away, it looks to me that it's, for me personally, it's the most enigmatic part. But I also can see that in a way he also, how do you say, he contrasts the openness and the sea and the sky, let's say, of this side, with the stony nature of this column over here.
Oh, okay, potential with the solid. Okay, I see it.
Yeah. So maybe the whole painting can also be, how do you say, broken down in quartans, and have a different analysis, and by doing that. But I don't want to venture into it, because then maybe we are putting extra layers of analysis to it. It's just a thought that I've noticed.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I really actually like the openness of the top left corner, the potential of the heart for middle center, the child, and then the thoughts on the right and the solid right, very chaotic potential left. Very nice. Absolutely great symbolism in that painting. Thank you so much for bringing it. Please, people, check out Haris's
Machine Mathematics and Meta-Hypothesis, philosophical inquiry into hypothesis formation, discovery, and computational validation,
that Haris presented on Johannes's podcast. I will provide the link below.
Thank you. Bye. talk about it and
like at the end, like, so we will have a video of 10 minutes and then extras of 20 minutes us just calculating the magic square. So first of all, the magic square is under the bell.
Five, 10 and 7, 12. And we have 11, 8 and 6, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 13, 15, 16, 18, 17, 18, 18, 6 plus 15, 2 plus 11. 6 plus 21 plus 23. Okay, I see more. So this is 19.
Yes, bravo.
This is 23 plus 10, 17 plus 4, so 21 plus 13. So this is 19, 20. So far 20. Let's check in the other side.
Bravo.
11, 8 plus 6, 9. 11, 8 plus, so 11, 19 plus 15, okay, so 21, and then 5, 10 plus 7, 12, 22. So, I mean, so far 22 I see. But like, but hold on a little bit. 3, 10 plus 7, 14. Oh my God, I already see 24. Okay, so I see 24. I think we can actually forego the 18 part, like, because I already see 20.
Yeah.
If we would like go and do the symmetry check, like 3, 10, 17, 14.
Okay, so let's
So
do
24 so far.
let's do it again.
Again? Okay.
We don't need to count, I think. We just need to say that there is a lot of them. Or you want me to?
Okay, I will. Okay. Only your mouse is seen. My mouse is not seen. Okay. Tick, 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 tick. Then 1, 2. So then the corners, then the middle, and then those two, then those two, then those two, then those two, and then the diagonals that you showed, those two diagonals, little, those two diagonals, little, like 3, 5, those two. But then, if you go to the middle like that, like that, then like that, and like that, the opposites, like 9.
Yeah. Correct.